It is time. It is time to start the seed sowing process. It is time. I can no longer stand idly by when I know it is time. So, happy seed sowing season. It is time to sow the seeds, okay? It's time to sow the seeds. Now, first off, look at my nails. I know they're so cute. I just finished painting them. It took me a day, but that's besides the point. Let's zoom out a little bit, okay? So I wanted to make this video to really just declare that it's time to sow your seeds, okay? What do I mean by this? Well, I mean that it's time to the winter season that's coming into spring. This is the season where you start to sow the seeds, especially here on, like, I guess the Eastern Hemisphere. I think that's where I live. It's really important for you to know that I'm not just talking about physical seeds, but I'm talking about mentally, spiritually. The seeds that you're sowing right now allow for the growing of the manifestations that you would like to experience. So what do I mean by this? How do you sow spiritual seeds? How do you sow spiritual seeds? Okay, well, you sow spiritual seeds by realizing that every single thought that you think sinks into your subconscious mind like soil and seeds. So if you are thinking bad thoughts, then those can be considered weeds. And, everybody needs sustenance in some way. The thoughts that we think are just the beginning of the manifestation of that sustenance. So okay, let's break this down into, I guess the three important things to know when sowing spiritual seeds during this season. The first thing to know is that you must be aware of what your mind is focusing on. And I don't mean like you don't have to be like super meditative channel, like I need to know every single thing I'm focusing on. You just need to be aware that there is something in here that has the power to manifest and grow. And the more you focus on it, the more you focus on it, the more it will grow, the more you will attract more energy like that. So when it comes to understanding how to sow spiritual seeds, you have to realize that every single word you say is a seed that is being sown. So with all of these words, this is your tool belt for the season, for the full season, from sowing to reaping to, maintaining and regenerating the garden afterwards. So the way I like to think of it is pretty simple. I like to think of sowing the seeds in my mind as first being aware of what my mind is thinking, because that is a selection of seeds I have to choose from. Alright, so sometimes it requires you to be selective with your seeds. You can only pay attention to so much, and so you gotta be aware. Okay? Okay. So number 2 is really about grasping that seed, if you will say. So if number 1 was just being aware of what you're focusing on, realizing that's the selection that you have to choose for the year, this means like what does your Instagram feed look like? This is, again, back on number 1. What are you consuming in your body? What are you feeding yourself with? Because that's a selection of words, of ideas, of terms, of food. What are you feeding yourself with? Of people? Okay, because all of this creates a selection, and from that you must choose the seeds that you want to manifest in your life. Okay, and there's a way to do this with such intention that you can really create whatever you want, but you got to be aware. So that's number 1. Again, selection of seeds in your mind, what you're focusing on, being aware of what you're feeding yourself. Now when we go to number 2, this becomes very clear, because you now start to write these things down. You're no longer observing it. You're no longer being aware that this is something in your mind's eye. This is something that you now start to bring into the physical. And the easiest way to bring words in your mind in the physical is write them down. So write them down, okay? Number 3 is have faith and surrender, okay? You have to have faith and surrender and give yourself space. okay? Because when you kind of release expectations, you're no longer strangling these seeds with the vines of your expectations and suffocating it with how you think it should grow. Instead, you're letting it go and you're allowing the seed to naturally grow. And in the next season, you will learn to weed, you will learn to have discernment, you will learn to really invest and, say less. So yeah, that's it. I hope that you enjoyed this video. Sow those seeds so that you can reap the spiritual reward. Thank you so much. God bless. Namaste.